turn it on so I can see it's working.
Yo, 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 yo. It's me, my friend. My name is Nuri.
Hey, folks.
Oh, Ian!
Hey.
Hey!
I'm going to see if we've got anyone in chat that can tell us the audio is all sounding okay.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, let's cue all that up. I'm gonna load it up as well.
So what I need to do as well is remove the hotkey from my mic audio because we're just muting.
We're gonna go with. Let's probably go to like Buried Things Do and Die 50 Days a Year, right? Yeah, cool.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's here yet. It is 2 AM.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, not that long, really.
It's all good for archive, so I don't mind. We got to go through this. We're waiting for no one.
Yeah, right. So,
all right.
We have a short list of themes to have a look.
Do you wanna pull up a little pew?
It's fine.
You'll just kind of hover.
Hold here for a bit.
Okay. So we are gonna go with. Do you want to read out themes and?
Yeah, I can do. I can go back and forth because they're on my desktop at the minute. But I'll grab my phone. The first one is Delay the Inevitable.
Oh, is it now? Okay, hang on.
Actually, I'll do it. Well, no, I can do that from the phone. It's fine.
Delay the Inevitable.
So we don't like it.
It's one that we didn't have anything for? Question mark.
We just went. This can be a few things really because Delay the Inevitable can be like any of our kind of arena shooters.
Yeah.
Where you just have to last as long as possible before either breaking through to the next layer of the arena or leaving in your like. Shall I bring a chair over?
I mean, just so you can know where to be, so that you're framed. Yeah. Otherwise, it's guesswork, isn't it?
No, it is guesswork.
Just do you want to go on this side? No, go on this side. Go on this side because I can type better if you're on this side. So professional. This is the most professional we've ever been. So, I get your info. Okay, to know the level. Yeah. So
any kind of.
We talked about maybe doing the shoot away or on layers.
Oh, the voting closed in the last like 2 minutes, so we can't vote. But
it's fine, whatever. But they haven't announced it yet.
No.
Okay, you're still slightly out of frame. So I think one of the ones we talked about was layers that you drop down through layers, and those layers get swarmed.
Yes. So you have to try and stay up on a top layer as long as you can before dropping.
Yeah.
There's like a reason to be there.
There's a reason to be that you're gaining treasure. Things like enemies are dropping treasures, and things are like landing over time. It's maybe loosely hex griddy procedural generation on our end with a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
Maybe even specifically a key that you have to get to open a hole in the floor.
You have to last a minimum amount of time on a layer.
Yes.
But lasting longer on a higher layer is going to give you more treasure that will help you survive the lower layers.
Yeah, there's like, our key drops after 30 seconds on the layer, and then you can go and grab that and then open the thing, but you might want to stay there longer. Yeah. And there it is it's an action game, it's a roguelite shooter or basher or whatever. Or even a turn-based... Hey,
Leon.
Thanks, Leon.
Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the... Is it a yen donation, it looks like?
610.
Cheers, great
yen 610. That's what they say, don't they? You're welcome to the stream. This is the big one. This is 50, so it's exciting. We're rushing through this because we haven't got time because we're going to get an announcement soon. So Delay the Inevitable. I think we know roughly what that would be.
So it could be that. The other Delay the Inevitable is... arena shooter where you're leaving on like an escape vehicle that you're trying to upgrade as much as you can before you leave.
Yes, okay, sure.
That is sort of 2 games in one, so you'd have to go very low spec on both.
Yeah.
Delay the Inevitable is also maybe just a towerizing game.
Also true. Okay, fine, whatever.
Yep. Right.
Happy with that.
Next we have Fragile.
Fragile. What did we have for Fragile? Fragile was one of the ones that we will have written something down.
Well, we won't have written things because we were doing this while we were out today in town.
Shit. We were talking about like things being made of like pots or glass. You smash them and you glue their bits back together for upgrades of your own. Things being you can shoot like it's the surge, but you don't want to break the bits that you want.
That's right. So yeah, you're like making a robot from parts that are on enemies.
Yeah.
As you're attacking the enemies, you don't want to break the bits of them that have the useful stuff that you want to pull off their corpses to make your own
That's
robot
interesting.
out of. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Next one. Come on. We only got 15 minutes.
Make connections. So we've
Okay.
got a couple things for make connections.
I don't know why I've given that one a capital C. Yeah, we'll do it. Let's do that. Oh dear. Make connections. What was make connections? There was wire trailing.
It could be your wire trailing game. You're moving from city to city with like a power cable that's connecting
things up using
enemies can attack the power cable.
Yeah, enemies can attack you, and the most recently untied bit of your power cable is like your lifeline, as it were, and they can attack that as well. Yep. So you want to tie that off or be able to defend it. And
then when you reach a pylon, you can like winch it up into the sky. Yeah, and then they can't
exactly
after that. The other make connections could be kind of survival game on several islands that you can kind of teleport between. As you discover a new island.
Best time of year. Let's go, Anna. Too right.
Hey, Anna. Definitely best time of the year.
It's the best time of the year. Yes, so this was like a kind of Minecraft Skycraft.
It's sort of like a Skyblocks situation, but yeah, survival game. You start on quite a small island, or you're on a bit of ship drifting in space or whatever. Yeah. There are some resources available there, but to find more new resources, you need to go somewhere else. And then when you find other islands, you can you bridge connections between them so that you can now teleport between them. Okay. To expand your walking area.
Let's keep going, smash through, and then at the end of this, we're going to have to decide which one it will be for each. I think because we've said 2 for each so far.
So mutation.
Mutation.
We had nothing for mutation.
I think we've talked about the. It's an idea we've had sitting on the pile for a while of just very rapid upgrade paths, lots of options and things to select from. Would be mutation.
In what way is it mutation?
It's when you get an upgrade, you mutate in some fashion, a la Nuclear Throne. That every upgrade you're getting is a mutation. And also, a mutator is a thing in games, right? Like in Unreal Tournament, a mutator is big head mode or whatever.
Yeah, sure. It's just that, isn't it?
It's probably that.
Top-down arena shooter. When you get an upgrade, it flashes up a grid of loads of options, and you have to pick one very quickly. Yeah.
And you can, you can maybe learn what they are after. I mean, it's got that Jingoku model of you're not designed to work it out first time. Right. Cool. Next.
Okay, next. Teleportation.
Teleportation.
Which could be the survival jump between islands thing. Other things we've said for teleportation, it's the towers game.
It's the towers game.
So an infinite climbing.
This might be the one where we make the towers game.
Possibly. So the towers game is you have two towers, and your controls control 2 players, 1 in each tower. Yeah. They move identically, but only one is active at any time, and the other one is a ghost. But you can choose to hot swap between them and choose which is your active one. Yes. So only the active one can deal damage to enemies and take damage from enemies, and needs to be stood on a platform.
Yeah, the inactive one is just sort of an example. It's basically just an indicator of where you will be if you teleport.
Essentially, yeah. And you can teleport to
cool. I mean, yes, that one is good. Was there anything else for teleportation that we
a Cannabolt style rooftop runner kind of thing where you can vertically teleport at any point during the game while you're doing your infinite running? Yes. That's your movement tech.
Alright, cool.
Okay. Next, we have a single resource.
We have nothing for this. A single resource. Oh, I don't like it.
It's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that it's one of those things. I can see how a lot of these have made it through. I can see how Make Connections and a single resource have made it through. They feel game designy without you thinking about them very much. Yeah. A single resource. We'll come back to it. Next. We have ideas for that.
Oh, Folklore. That one needs fucking research.
Yeah, but we liked it at least. I'm going to just actually quickly mark out the ones that we haven't.
But our non-research idea for Folklore, I guess, was you're maybe in a game where you're almost doing some archaeology, or you're discovering a culture, and there are lots of competing folklores that exist. Yes. But only one of them is telling a true story that really happened, and you're trying to suss it out with murder mystery foo. It's a bit Oberdin, I guess.
Yeah, I like that. I like doing and it's hard to do an Oberdin without really ripping off Oberdin, isn't it? It's a very well done game.
I always want to make a video on this, but Oberdin, to me, it feels like the game that should have spawned a genre but hasn't.
Yeah, I agree with that. Brilliant game. All right, 10 minutes left.
Shelter, a classic.
Shelter? I didn't even see that was in there.
Shelter was a round one.
Did we have anything for it? Did we have anything for it?
Umbrellas was mentioned.
Oh yeah, I talk about this aesthetic a lot, but I don't know what the game is.
Farm on a truck game.
Farm on a truck game is kind of sheltery. Sort of.
It's not much more than you're hearing, really. There's a farm on the back of a truck.
Yeah, you go farming. It's Harvest Moon, but instead of having to go home every day, you take home around to the different towns. Rather than going into town and then coming back, you can just drive your farm around and upgrade your truck to get bigger and better trucks and have better farms. And this one has 2 levels, and this level's always in shade, which means you can't grow plants that need sun on it, but you can grow mushrooms in it. And
But you could park it like halfway in a shadow.
You could park it like you could also just park in a shadow and just grow mushrooms in a truck that had an open top.
Yep. Hey, less of a theme, more of a tagline, but the phrase "gameplay that melts in your mouth," and that's
a good intrusive thought. Yeah, no, that is very intrusive, and I thank you for it. I feel intruded upon.
Shelter can also just be like survival game if we did just want to make it.
Yes, happy to do that also because you've talked about it a few times. I'm sure we could do something cool with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Infestation. Good God, how is this making the top 20? I hate it. We don't have an idea for it.
We don't have an idea for it, and not only that, there is no good idea for it.
No, it's dreadful.
It's the worst possible thing.
If Infestation gets picked, we're not taking part in LD50.
I will kill myself.
Right. Highlight it in horrible red.
Horrible red.
Blood red.
I mean, this is a horrible red. It's pure.
For terrible.
It's
terrible
pure
theme.
FF.
And we move on. Road Trip. That's a fun one.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We talked about a couple of. I sat on this idea for a while. I wanted to do a car obstacle course, but it might be a little physics heavy. We'll have to make a car that feels right quite quickly. Other options are doing a turn-based road trip,
or like a Sabutio flipping road trip. That one feels like the good one to me.
The Sabutio one.
Yeah. We both know what it is immediately, but it's interesting.
I like the aesthetic. I like the aesthetic of making little plastic models that feel quite tactile.
Yeah, that's nice.
Like texturing the grass to look like felt or whatever.
Fun.
Like I can see the viz of that, and I think that could be quite a lot of fun.
Yeah.
In terms of like what you'll do. Yeah, we'll work that one out. But I think I agree. If we get road trip, let's do that. I think it's smaller in scale, or at least we can make it smaller scale than having to. You don't have to have good car physics. Okay, let's go next boy.
Tunnels.
We had a cool idea for this on the walk, which was about flatland and 3D tunneling into space.
That'd be so sick. So you're navigating around in space, and you have the warp drive, like the wormhole generator, the thing that folds time and space so that you can jump from point to point. So the game itself, the view of the game, literally, you can choose to fold it up along whatever line you want, almost like you're doing origami.
Exactly, you just draw the line and fold it,
and then
you get a thingy to punch the hole. So I don't know if you guys know Flatland, but they do it in Interstellar. Any film
and Event Horizon,
any film that needs to explain what a wormhole is, they do the same thing where someone folds a piece of paper, punches the hole, and then when you unfold it, you can see. But these look very far away, but in particular space, they're almost occupying the exact same point.
If you fold space-time, you can jump between bits of space-time.
There you go. So we do a game where you do that, where it could just be like a space travel trucking game. I don't know, like an Elite Dangerous or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is the silliest name for a game that is just Eurospace. And then you have some option to punch holes in space-time. And as for what the central mechanics are there, I don't know, but that's what that will be. Cool.
There are things we can start making before we know the central mechanics for that game.
True.
Overgrown. Hate it. Can't believe that's made it in either.
It's just a nice visual cue. It's not really a game idea.
Did you just make Towers game?
we could, right? We could make farm on back of truck.
Yeah.
That's got growth.
Yeah.
Involved. Again, I don't know how small we can make that one. Very big idea in my mind.
I mean, if it's kind of Shadow of the Colossus, just lots of like open empty space you can drive around in.
True. Yeah. But I imagine you're basically moving between seed banks. So like the idea for this game, also the very large scope idea for this game, which we can try and pare down, is that basically you have to get a farming license to be able to farm certain crops. They just don't trust you with certain crops until you have like proved your worth as a farmer.
Yeah.
So you sort of have mini quests about like, can you deliver 10 radishes or whatever, and then they will give you access to radish seeds. You can buy those. That you always have access to dust corn, and you can always make dust corn, but you can get like more old world vegetables. So actually, the more you start with, the more fictional veg.
Yeah.
And eventually it's like, oh my god, they're going to give me access to like
I can do pineapples.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be incredible. And then those plants basically have more requirements. So a plant has, let's say, a 5-day growth period, and it wants 2 days of rain, 1 day of humidity, 1 day of sun, 1 day of shade. Yeah. And then you've got to work out a route. Okay, I've got to get to rain for 2 days. I don't have hydroponics on my truck. Yeah. Also, like the fog's coming in here, so I've got to get from here to here. And it's just checking the weather map every day. And that's sort of how I imagine it. Yeah, cool. So select me evergreen. Next thing?
Next thing is out of order.
Did we have anything for this?
Out of order.
We have a doc where I think we might have even written this stuff down. That might have got that far.
Maybe. It's possibly your like Mad Libs murder mystery thing, but I think that might be a little.
It's hard to do.
Jam scope. Okay, we did do this.
Put these things in X order.
Okay. So that's almost Jingoku. It's like a collection of mini games. We just give you like a topic. Just be like, here are some geometric shapes. Put them in volume order.
Yeah.
Here are some countries. Put them in population order.
Put them in population order, right? And then we can. Yeah, we'll just like. I think that could be a really fun game, actually. Yeah. And then also we're talking about, this was the one where we first talked about, let's do some async stuff, of what order do you think the community
Put them in popularity order. And then at the end of every game, you get a couple questions asked of you, like, which of these do you prefer?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That one. We make that one. Next.
Alright. Space is limited.
Did we have anything for that? Again, wormholes?
Is it limited?
Sort of. By dimensions.
Survival game where you make the walkable space as you go.
Right, yes. A survival game where, it's Skylands.
Yeah, you're Skyblock.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain that to me a little bit. I think I know how it works. I don't really remember how you like get dirt. But I know that's like part
Dirt is part of the floor, but it's very limited, as is like stone. But you can do things like make a cobblestone generator by combining like... You can put lava above a water source that drips onto it.
Okay, and that makes more floor and stuff.
So you just have to come up with ways of generating stuff.
Okay.
Because you have access to very little. You get one tree to begin with, but then you can take the saplings from the tree as you chop it down and plant trees.
Okay, cool.
We're not even going to have time to choose what we want to do for the theme. We're going to have to just make that choice when it comes out.
I think so.
Combine.
Uh-oh. We had an idea for this, but I couldn't remember what it was.
We just do the same as Fragile. We're taking bits off robots and making your own robot.
Okay. We had something for this. We were talking about Rocket League loot boxes, being able to mush 2 common items into another common item,
do that.
And they can have tags. So like 2 laser weapons get you like a.
And I think you could do that.
Beam
I think you could do that as a card game. To be honest,
you could do it as a card game. You could do it as a arena shooter. I wouldn't really mind, but I don't know what. I guess one of the reasons that I would lean towards doing something Isaac is that we just already know how that bit works.
Yeah, sure.
We have to come up with the card game.
Garden. That's truck.
That's truck on a.
And that's everything.
Okay.
So we have 2 minutes really before the theme is announced. We cut stream very last minute today. We've been setting up a lot of things, folks. So I guess I can spend a minute or two talking about what's going on this weekend. We're in the same place today for LD50, the special one.
Us and the duck.
We've got a duck behind us.
We've got a duck now.
For moral support.
I asked, actually, this is on Matt. I asked Matt, I was like, what should we do that's special to like decorate it? And he's like, we could put up the duck poster. And I was like, what?
The duck poster.
Which is a long story. It's, by the way, if you're thinking, it looks quite low res in this camera, it must be out of focus. Nope. I assure you that is exactly what it looks like in real life.
Very blurry.
It's quite weird to see something so big and low res in real life. Like it's a bit like a fake, like I don't know, it's daunting. And then I was like, should we get balloons or something? Yeah. And Matt was like, I think the duck poster's enough. So that's where we are now.
Now, are we going to write the theme on the duck poster? Is he going to be saying?
Yeah.
There's a Sharpie down here. Give him a speech bubble.
No, I just I love it. Where should it go? Is that on his face?
Like up here.
Yeah, sure. Okay. It's not going to be visible on cam. You can see where it gets cut off. There's no space above his head visible at all.
I see.
And
just here.
And actually, the other side of his face gets less glare.
So you want over there?
I think that's the ideal spot.
This here. Let me just see how that's looking on camera. Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Okay. It's 1:59, Liz.
Shall I start refreshing Twitter?
Get your party poppers ready.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. Okay, hang on. Twitter. Let's go to Mike Kasperzak's Twitter because that's the only time you ever know what it is. Kasperzak, where are you?
There he is.
There he is. Alright. Everyone waiting on LD Jam account fixes. You should hear from me on Thursday. Okay.
It's 2. Refresh that page.
Refresh that page.
I can have a quick look at the LD.
Yeah, you look at the actual LD page, yeah. Oh, don't drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Please be something we can do something with. I beg of thee.
I mean, theme voting has gone. It doesn't say what the theme is.
Dun 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 dun. Team mascot, that's you, Anna. You're the team mascot. The duck is second place. I actually think, Anna, at this point you could just apply for a role in the company. You've been with us long enough. You're one of those hires that's like we always like put out a job spec to say that we're an external hire, but really we'd always planned on hiring you.
The theme is 404, Liz. It's 404.
Oh, they've tricked us. It's echoes.
It's got to be on Twitter.
He's not saying anything. I mean, I could actually just hashtag LD, right? Like that might get me there. What's everyone saying? The theme for Ludum Diary 50 is delay the inevitable.
Hey, Ludum Diary 50. Delay the inevitable. Let's put it on the duck.
Put it on the duck. I've got a lot of confetti on my computer. I love the smell of party poppers.
They're good, aren't they?
Is it? It's not actual gunpowder, is it? Like what is it? What is that smell? Oh, it's so good.
I don't know.
Huff that shit all day. Ah. Wow.
Well, it seems like a sort of existential yell from behind the camera now.
It's like a weird motivational poster.
Delay the inevitable.
Delay the inevitable. It's almost okay. What was the? Oh, okay. It's Hey, I like this one. It's stay on the layers and fall down.
Is that what we're doing?
I think that should be what we do. So yeah. So okay.
Let's have a quick chat then.
Let's have a quick chat.
A few minutes. I'll bring the chair back.
Bring the chair back over. Let's frame ourselves again on this screen so that we can. Yeah, it's back up and back in chat. Okay, so hi. It's like what's that?
I'm Matthew and I'm an alcoholic.
There's an art piece with the artist. I forget her name. But it was like her and
You're off for Robert now.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no, okay.
It was like her and her ex-husband, and they just sat at opposite tables, sat opposite each other. Yeah, for like 6 hours in a room, and this was really healing for us. so that's what we're doing right now.
So this was 71 hours, and then like make the game in the last hour.
That's what you thought I was saying to that point. So yeah, well, I just wanted to look at the duck again. Okay, no, I think this is a good
We're
one.
going to embrace the theme and delay the inevitable of making the game.
Not making a video game. Okay, so I think that you know what, I should get another scene. Hang on. I'm going to do something very last minute and bad. I'm going to make a brand new scene. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, check this out, a camera again. Same one.
You're crazy.
I'm crazy, and I'm going to do this. Uh-oh. I can't do... Oh, no. I'm clicking too much. Why can't I move it?
I don't know. It's not locked.
It's not, is it?
How odd. Solve that idea.
No, I won't. I will try and solve it in some fashion. Yeah. Let's add a new one. Let's go big. And I can just turn it on and off. I love this video game that is OBS. It just absolutely doesn't work at all. Maybe my webcam just doesn't like doing that. Well, I'll do this. Huh. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm just streaming. Maybe it won't let me do it mid-scene.
You're recording. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, yeah, recording, not streaming. So here's the pitch game. We're further away from the mic, but you'll have to forgive us. The pitch is you are, and this is, I think this is what we should go with. But if there's something that excites you more, then we'll talk about that as well. The pitch is you are. It's a top-down, ISO, whatever, action combat game. Shooter or melee based, I don't really know. Hades or Isaac as a template. You are on a sort of island, probably made of hexes, because we like that. It doesn't have to be, but something that we can procedurally generate out of tiles. And one of those hexes is like a grate with a keyhole in it, and you need to open that to go down a level, and you will fall down onto another island of hexes, and the game will continue there. These are layers of the strata of gameplay area. Enemies will come in from they'll drop down on or climb from underneath or appear via rooms on the ground over time, and get thicker and thicker and faster and slowly overwhelm you. I also, this was I think when we were talking about the idea of doing arcade feet for enemies and trying to have it feel like they are a swarm of just like creatures that are like a bit too much for you. I don't know, it's kind of a nice aesthetic idea. And then a key will appear at some point, and you'll be able to, or even just the gate is on a timer, doesn't open for a second, and it will open and you'll be able to drop down a level. But the next level down is harder. The game difficulty is just higher there.
Yeah. But you're starting from scratch again, so you don't have to, like, the ramp up of number of enemies coming forward
you're starting
has been reset.
Yeah, you get resets when you're down there, and like every 5 layers or whatever, we have our boss fight or something, so there's something to...
Every 5 layers. Okay, so are you thinking then that enemy types are not layer specific, power-ups are not layer specific?
I don't think so. I don't think power-ups would be layer specific.
So harder enemy is just one with, like, buffier stats.
Could be a different enemy. Could be a different enemy for sure. Like rarer enemies can show up later down the line. Yeah, but I'm thinking.
Assuming we have more than 5 layers is way scopy to begin with.
I was imagining the layers being pretty simple, like not very big.
It does mean that you have to come up with at least 1 enemy type per layer if you're going to do that, though.
No, it doesn't have to be a different enemy per layer, right? Like in the basement, if you imagine 5 layers as a floor, in the basement one there are like 3 enemies, right? Fly, spider, whatever.
Sure.
Something like that. I mean, and an enemy basically can just be like a recolor of a previous enemy at this point because it's LD with, I mean, we did it for a while, right? There's an enemy that fires 3 bullets and there's an enemy that fires a beam and it's the same enemy. Yeah, things like that. We have a turret thing, we have a tracking melee thing, we have something that tries to dodge out.
Unique stuff per floor perhaps, but within a floor, as you go down layers, you just have enemies maybe with like slight recolors.
Slight recolor, ramp
stats beef up a bit.
A bit, yeah, some kind of stat beef up. Occasionally new enemies will show up, but for the most part they're just showing up in larger groups. This is an enemy encounter where a fly spawns. Now it's like 3 spawn. Okay, they're coming in. And
you just have to be careful that doesn't read as essentially the ramp up isn't being reset as quickly. You just get swarmed faster.
Yeah.
I think you want individual enemies to get more powerful.
Well, I think also the timing between when enemies arrive should get tighter.
Yeah.
So when you get down a level, it's like, okay, there's 3 enemies, but
still
it's greed mode actually, right? A little bit. It's Isaac's greed mode. Yeah. Things should just get out of hand by the nature of it's hard to defeat X enemies in a certain amount of time. And actually, that's probably the template you want to follow. And then, there is some kind of boss that you need to be at a certain juncture, so there is something you're leveling up towards. You don't just want to be, I can just kite, like I have to win a fight at some point. So I need to stick around long enough to get upgrades, and upgrades have a chance to drop from enemies, for example. Like in a group of enemies, like, they have drop rates a la a regular, like a Dark Souls mob, or just there's a treasure every minute that appears, or both of those things. There are special enemies that can drop bonuses, whatever, and that's the game.
Yeah, cool. Easy enough.
Easy enough.
What's the aesthetic?
Robots. Hey?
Robots?
No. We've done robotic things. Yeah. I do quite like the idea of having things that can scuttle from the underside of whatever you're on.
What are you then?
A guy with a red cloak and a sword. Or
do you want to Dynamic Bones have fucked with us a few times. Do you want to not do a cloak? Because Dynamic Bones do wibbly wobbly bits, or do you want Dynamic Bones?
You know the answer is that I want Dynamic Bones.
Okay, so it's just a guy covered in cloth then, isn't it?
It's a guy covered in cloth, yeah. I think animation style, it might be quite fun to do the framey thing that we've been doing on words, where actually you just do some poses.
Yeah, so
snap between them and allow Dynamic Bones to move through them.
There's what's it called, like Tower of Terror or something, and it's made in the style of like old 1950s, not 50s, maybe 60s and 70s, like sci-fi.
Okay.
Where they have like stop motion claymation.
I really like that stop motion-y look.
Yeah.
So like the camera still moves really fluidly.
Yeah.
We have, even dynamic wobble, like focus cutting in and out, but the characters are like animated on fours basically.
Do we say that everything that's not a character moves in real time then, so you can still do particle effects, bullets flying?
Yeah, or I think you get creative in the moment, but yes, probably.
Yeah.
Characters move like that, and I don't even think they always have to be animating on fours. I think like certain animations can have degrees of fluidity with stop frames, and you can have poses last longer if they look cooler, but also it's much easier for us to animate because I can rig it up with a Mixamo or whatever, and then just cut frames out.
The danger is just that it doesn't look like it's been done badly and it's low frame rate.
I think we can make it look pretty good. I think I'm pretty confident. Cool. Because also the other thing is we can have that thing with Dynamic Bones, like Michael Pillow doing his, duh. It's just
it kind of wobbles into the.
Yeah, it kind of snaps into the things. That might look cool as well. I don't know.
Because the other thing to do is have a fluid player, but like enemies are stop motion.
Yeah, true. I've seen a few games where you have a degree of stop motion. You're animating on 2s or 3s, and they look pretty cool. Okay. I think it is an aesthetic that's coming in, especially if your game looks quite neat, which it probably will with URP, Martin, God Rays and Fog, and Shimmily Shakily.
Okay. I think so. I don't think I'm going to be up that long.
Okay,
I'm getting pretty tired. What I think I might try and do today is just have some like floor gen.
Okay, sounds good.
Picking a random hole which has like a key, like metal hexagon with a keyhole in it or whatever. I'll just get floor generation working.
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. And we'll try and work out how big things should be. I guess I will start on a character model.
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. Do you want your phone?
Do you want to leave it on your screen for a bit while you do the modelling? Or should I?
Let's show off the breadth of what we've achieved. And I'll start some confetti. It is delay the inevitable. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
So are we going back to mine for a bit then?
Yeah, go for it. I will mute my audio.
You done?
Alright, so we should hopefully be audible from my microphone now. Just say something, Ness.
Hello, my name is Nuri.
That seems good to me. Right, so we are going to jump in and do some floor generation.
Awesome.
And we want to put OBS onto my screen and camera. Right. Hi, folks.
Hey, guys. Do we want to do it? Maybe it doesn't matter right now. Are we thinking it will be a shooter or a melee?
Start with the melee.
Okay.
And then you can find shooties.
Yeah.
So you're not working in Unity for a bit, I guess?
No, I'll be in Maya for a minute.
Cool.
When you crack open Unity, is there a pull there from me?
I think I might just have the start anyway.
Look in the collab history. I push something with a note to make sure we're definitely on the same.
Our very first push.
Our very first push. That is correct, yeah.
You're not going to like that, Let's get rid of prefabs meta.
Hey, this one's quite fun. I was actually quite looking forward to this one. Something roguelitey is exciting to me. You've got audio on stream, have you checked?
Yep.
Okay. Let's make our army.
Can you throw me a hexagonal shape? Thank you.
A hexagon, if you will.
What?
A hexagon.
A hexagonal prism, please.
He's done me. There's no way I don't have 400 of them already in my folder.
Just stick one in the game.
There's just no way.
Yeah, that must be right.
It's like my favourite shape to make.
Hex tile.
Let's have a look. Projects. Default data. Oh yeah, no, you know what? I bet I don't have it. Because I reinstalled Maya. Actually, a shocking twist. Let's make a brand new one. Crazy well we live in. The resolution on this one.
I've made a prefabs folder and there's already a scripts folder. But make yourself a models folder or whatever the name of that one would be. Do you want to do that? Cheers.
Meshes.
Meshes, that's the one.
Do you want them beveled so you can see the...
If you have a beveled one going.
I can make you a beveled one.
You don't need to put any time into it, but...
It takes mere moments.
Go for it.
This monitor being this high res.
I thought you were going to go till 7 AM today after having a nap.
No, I'm going to try and sync up with you so we can talk and work.
Cool, that sounds good.
I probably won't, but I'll do what I can. Strata as a working title?
Yeah, sure. I guess let me push you the actual seed as well.
Yeah. Data. Yeah, I think a thing that would be nice to do for stream tomorrow also would be to just have some soft BGM playing underneath it all. I think people would like that. Let's go with Hex and Bevel. Oh, that's exciting, that's exciting.
I cannot submit my change to server.
Yeah. Sometimes
It's because of this fucker.
What is it?
Oh, I hate this.
What's this?
I have a meta from a folder that I spelled wrong. Why is this? No, go away.
Oh, I see.
And it will just never go away.
You have to go and delete it in Explorer.
It doesn't. It's not there. Unity doesn't realise that though.
It's not. Is it just a hidden file?
No. Well, I'm showing hidden files.
Oh. Unity's going to take a second to do that, but then I will throw you over Hex Bubble Little One.
Oh, that's going to be infuriating. I'm hoping that a relaunch of Unity tomorrow will fix it.
Start from a basic human mesh.
Okay, so we're going to have...
I don't know if like a toolbar hidden. Oh, it's because I've got this in full screen here. I don't know.
So we have a list of vector 2s for our entire grid. And they're going to be columns running bottom left to top right.
Yeah, immediately take a break. I've earned it. Yeah, this is one of the things about dev streams I've noticed, is that unlike our regular stream, you just don't keep up dialogue much, because like you're hyper-focused for like an hour or two at a time. So I think to keep the stream zuzzy, throw some BGM on tomorrow.
If you can like find some, yeah.
Well, we don't
remember
really
how it
know
works.
enough, haven't we?
Oh, sure. Generate tile, and that's going to want a vector 2 as its coordinates.
It's cold.
Oh, I'm going to do the underscore for privates, capital for public.
Yeah, I've been doing that recently, just in general. I've taken your good practice to heart. Not only does this not work, but the lock thing fell off. So that's... Okay, let's try a different one.
There's a few to try.
Oh, you know what? I've got one.
There you go. How do we want to do this?
Oh, one of the other things that we've not even mentioned to the stream yet. Got the Korg and the guitar set up to go through BandLab and write the best soundtrack.
We're going to have the best soundtrack in this LD, absolutely. We've got an entire... You can see it behind me there. We've got a synthesizer, like a line in. We're going to be able to see some live guitar. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, we're amping it all up through this software called BandLab, which is sort of a GarageBand rip-off for like iOS and Android that has Windows support and is genuinely very good.
Yeah.
Which for anyone that's written music before, they're probably just like, yeah, that's like a decade old. But I've never heard of it. It's good. I think, on Windows, use Audacity or you can.
Fuck. Will it be as catchy as the Berry Things tune? Damn right it will be.
That was written on flat.io. That's the pain we've had to deal with.
Okay, do I need to work out? I need to work out some quick hexagon maths with my trusty whiteboard. So if we have, in fact, I can find this on Google, can't I?
Oh no. Warlock hex math.
That's what we want. So width. So let's say you had hexagon, hexagon, hexagon. There are I'm going to be arranging like what we want is hexagons pointing up. Okay, so if that's our hexagon grid like that, then that is just one hex length. This triangle is half the width plus half a side length. So what's the relationship of width to a side? Height is √3 times radius. Okay, that's what we need. So let's just make a little diagram here of a hexagon this way up, which is how we're going to arrange it. That's a terrible hexagon. Finish.
Just seen a very good tweet here that says, I was really counting on road trip being the theme, now I don't know what to do. That was a 1 in 20, that doesn't sound very good, does it?
So height is equal to √3 times radius. Where √3 is. So if that's 1, √3. Okay, so this is the relationship between the dimensions of a hexagon. This will be my guide while we're doing grid-based stuff. a sync? Question mark. Yes. Oh my god, there's such terrifying hiccups. They will not shake. Huh? So we want a... private float. Right, I've pushed you a hex file. The Apothem. I actually realised we didn't import packages, so I'm going to quickly import some packages too. Yeah. This wants to be int. These all want to be int. And then here, to world pause. Float. Pause. Float y pause. So x position is going to be the Apothem. I guess we can do that. Private float Apothem is equal to mathf dot. Can you do a mathf dot square root?
Squirt. SQRT.
Yeah. Yeah. 3 times hex diameter all over 2. X position is going to be Apothem times 2, and that's all multiplied by the actual coordinate itself. So coords dot x times the Apothem times 2. And then the y position should be coords dot y times, and this is going to be something plus 1 instance of the Apothem, and I think it is just going to be the diameter. No, it's not quite the diameter. Is the radius plus half a side length? So what's the relationship of the side? Oh, side is a radius. So it's a radius and half a radius, which is 0.75 times the diameter. That feels not quite right, but we'll go with it. So this is going to be hex diameter. Is there a hexagon-y thing in?
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
Just grabbing a couple of our old standards. Flat kit, stylizer, center machine.
So if I just throw that in here. Cool. Do I need to change the scale, I guess?
Presumably,
to
yeah.
100?
Yeah, most of my models are coming in centimetres, not metres. But it is a pretty arbitrary size right now.
Yeah, that looks normal, I guess.
Hard to say, really. It's currently pivoted in the centre. Is that where you want it pivoted?
Probably, right?
Yeah, sure.
Do you mean as opposed to surface?
As opposed to a surface, yeah.
We'll see how we go.
Okay.
I'm just going to power it into something anyway, so I can move it using that, right?
Yeah. I actually do suspect you want it pivoted to surface, but I'll just buy you another one now. It's not going to affect your maths.
So we can prefab that one out. And then we'll have a reference to hex tile prefab. Field initializers cannot reference the non-static field. Right, yeah, okay.
I'm really curious. How do you change account? That's stuff on my other account that I want to bring over. You know how to change these things so often. Something new every day.
So I guess we can just go ahead and delete this, and then in here, there we go. And we're going to go ahead and initialize that. So our vector is, I'll tell you what, we want that wants to be at Z, and for now we'll call that 0. We're going to instantiate at, so this wants to be a vector 3, new vector 3, instantiate an instance of hex tile prefab at World pause. I think that's all we need. I think you can do that with just two of an overload of two. You gonna be happy with that?
Has he done it? Game complete. Game built.
Cannot convert from Unity engine to transform. That wants to be a parent. Okay, so in that case we want just the Quaternion die density. Hopefully you're happy now. So we should get a tile appearing, hopefully.
He's done it.
You have a tile?
And it has a floppy disk on it.
Fuck the tile. I'm the fucking man who can go the fucking mile.
Do you think if we reached out, he'd help us with the soundtrack? It's not even, we don't have to reach out on Twitter, we just have to go to like under a bridge over there.
Uddersfield.
Yeah, he's in Uddersfield.
He's from fucking Uddersfield.
He's from fucking Uddersfield, that's shit. I forgot about that. What's he here to do? Here to something it and rock it for a while.
I'm here to... Don't know, I don't remember. Just fuck the tile, mate.
No, it's fine. What do we know? He's here to fuck the tile. Yes.
So let's just try this in a couple of places and see what happens. Is my maths correct? Are they on the wrong?
Okay, I forgot. Are we in? We're in. Import. Stylizer. Cinema sheet. Dynamic mouse.
So,
Oh no.
oh. Yeah, I'm only doing it on one coordinate, aren't I? It's that.
And then a width.
And then
Half width over.
so its Y position is exclusively based on its X position adding an apothegm. I feel like I shouldn't be doing that. Its X position is this. Whoa! My keyboard just had a little mind freak out there. That plus called Y times the apothegm. Is it just that? Why are you happy? Because I can't spell that. Well, that's annoying. It's definitely a perfect hexagon.
Yeah. How are you getting their bounds, their widths, their sizes?
I'm not, but this dimension is correct. So it is right. They're not wrongly spaced on both axes, so it's a maths problem if they're definitely perfect axes.
Perfect, yeah.
Is it just that? Is that all I need? If I just... That feels like it would have been more out than what we saw. Yeah. I'm going to make a little sphere at 0, 0 just so I can see where it is. Scale 0.4. Just raise that by a bit as well. So at least we know where our origin is and can compare. So that's a 0. So the Z is working. It's half a centimetre plus. It's a radius and a half. So if I do that, let's just double check. That's the one that's not working properly. It's X position. Is it 1.5 for some reason? It is 1.5. Why am I a factor of 2 out? You know what? I just don't think I'm going to question that. Right, I think I'm heading to bed.
Okay, cool. I'm T minus not long as well. I think if we can both be up at a similar time.
Yep.
We'll have more fun.
Alright folks, so cheers for doing theme announcement with us. We're making We're going for Delay the Inevitable, doing an arena shooter where you drop through gaps in the floor, but you try and last as long as you can before you do that. And it's called Strata, I guess.
And yeah, it seems to be for now. Alright, folks. Your camera's white and mine's grey.
Yeah, I had a choice, and I wanted to not just like do everything that you do. Because you make terrible decisions.
That's very unlike you, because you love doing everything I do, because I'm the best boy. Do you remember that?
Do you remember how that's true?
I'm going to shut stream off here. So yeah, we'll be live as soon as we're awake.
Yeah.
So see you in a few hours, folks.
Yeah.
Peace out.